Hi everyone, English 365, English for Colombians. Today we're talking about tag questions, a very important subject, something you really need to know, especially if you go to have an interview for an English speaking position. Okay, what are tag questions? Well, you've probably heard them quite a lot. You've probably heard, you will work on Monday, won't you? We can do this, can't we? You didn't say that yesterday, did you? He isn't here, is he? Today is Sunday, isn't it? And you do know how to do this, don't you? You'll hear this everywhere, but what does it mean? Why do we use tag questions? Okay, a tag question is used to say, talk to me. I need to hear you speak. I need you to confirm something. We don't really have this in Spanish. We say, cierto. ¿Verdad? But in English, it's an open question because, these are conversations. They're not interrogations. When you go for an interview, this is a big conversation. When it's for an English speaking position, they want to hear you speak. They want to know how you speak, how you will talk to clients, how you will talk to customers. And so they'll ask you tag questions, open questions, where they're saying, talk to me. Now you need to really practice these. It's a big subject. It's not something you can learn in a 5-minute video. But this video will give you a good introduction. It will teach you the rules, and hopefully at the end of it, you'll have a good idea of why we use tag questions so much. Okay, we only have 2 rules, and they're not complex rules. Very, very easy set of rules to understand, so there's only 2 of them. Rule 1, state what you believe to be true. In other words, if I believe you live in Bogota, or I believe you live in Villavicencio, or whatever I believe, I tend to say that first, or I would tend to say that first. You live in Bogota, don't you? You have a house in Medellin, haven't you? You can do this, can't you? These are examples of tag questions with positive statements. And so the tag is negative. If the statement is positive, the opening statement, the opening part of the overall question is positive, then the tag itself is negative. You didn't work last night, did you? If I know you went to the bar last night and you weren't working, if I saw you yesterday, you weren't traveling yesterday, were you? I saw you. The most important thing to take away from this video, this whole video, is the fact that when we use tag questions, we're saying, talk to me. I need to hear you speak. So just 2 rules. Say what you believe and follow it with either a positive or negative tag, the opposite to the statement. Positive statement, negative tag. Negative statement, positive tag. If I saw someone using one of these recyclable bags, I'd say, you don't use plastic carrier bags, do you? I'm asking for a conversation. At home, Lucia says to me, you did buy organic, didn't you? You did, didn't you? We are separating the garbage, aren't we? We are recycling correctly, aren't we? You are doing this, aren't you? So why not just a question? Do you like coffee? Well, in an interview, they know all about your experience. They have your resume in front of them. They know all about your qualifications. But where you've written, yes, English, fluent or intermediate, they have no idea because you can't work this out from a resume. I could write your resume. So they need to hear you speak. And so they use tag questions. You have experience in this field, in this sector, haven't you? You do know how to do this, don't you? You live near, don't you? So this is a very, very important subject. They're not going to ask you closed questions. They're not going to say, do you like coffee? Because you can say yes. They're going to say, you do like coffee, don't you? As they hand you a coffee. Now, maybe this won't happen. But as an example, and you think this is a pretty innocuous question, but they're handing you this coffee saying, you do like coffee, don't you? To hear you say, yes, I do. We drink a lot of coffee in Colombia. In fact, Colombia, blah, blah, blah. If they say, do you like coffee? It's an opportunity for you to say, yes, I do. No, I don't. And they are no further forward. They haven't heard you speak. Now, we prepare lots of people for interviews across Colombia, for international roles across the world. And an interview is not an interrogation, it's a conversation. And it's the only way of getting you to open up. I mean, maybe when you go into the interview, you're so comfortable with English, so confident that you just start talking. But a lot of people are nervous. A lot of people are just waiting for questions to be asked. And so they ask in this particular format as a way of saying, háblame, talk to me. I need to hear you speak. You work near Cali, don't you? Well, I know you work near Cali, or your resume says you work near Cali. You have finished the presentation, the document. You have finished the document. You completed the document, didn't you? Did you? Haven't you? You will work on Monday, won't you? We are finishing this project. Excuse me. We are finishing this project next week, aren't we? Your boss is saying, I need to hear you confirm this. In meetings, this is very common. This structure is very common because if there's a problem in the future, they can revert back to the recorded meeting or the minutes of the meeting and hear what you said, read what you said. Nodding your head, shaking your head in business doesn't work, In general conversation, there's a Juan Valdez near here, isn't there? There is becomes isn't there. And you don't eat mondongo, do you? You don't eat mondongo, do you? I don't like mondongo, as you probably guessed. But anyway. So the sequence, first state what you believe to be true. Chia is near to Bogota, isn't it? Talk to me. We couldn't study tomorrow, could we? We couldn't study at 7 a.m. tomorrow, could we? Now you do understand this, don't you? You do understand this, don't you? You didn't say that, did you? You are being asked to confirm or deny something, and you need to speak. And you will remember to think about your carbon footprint, won't you? You will, won't you? If you expect to go for an interview and then to say, do you speak English? They won't. Well, they could. But you speak English, don't you? You study English, I believe, don't you? And this is how they know whether you do or you don't. They don't want to hear yes, they don't want to hear no. Well, they do. They want to hear a lot more than that. They want to hear you speak. This is how they do it. Okay, quick recap. Say what you believe to be true, first and foremost. You didn't work yesterday, did you? And if that statement is positive, follow it with a negative tag. You will work on Sunday, won't you? You can't swim, can't you? Positive statement, negative tag. Negative statement, positive tag. They want to hear you speak. They're asking a question like this to give you an opportunity to speak. And you really need to practice these so that it's automatic, more or less, for interviews. You're in the interview because it's an English-speaking role. So you need to demonstrate your English, and this is how they will find out whether you speak English or whether you've just learned a few lines for the interview. As ever, thank you for watching. If you'd like a free demo, the number's there. WhatsApp 321-311-8620. And you won't forget to subscribe, will you? Bye-bye. See you in the next one.